Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad you were able to come for the Austria info session. Like I said, this is going to be recorded so you can review it at any point. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. My name is Sarah Ackarts. I am the Manager of Global Programs in the Center for Global Education, and I manage the Semester Austria program. I also manage our France semester program as well as a couple of our short-term embedded programs. So if you have any questions, you can of course stop and ask us before you leave tonight. Otherwise, you can always reach out after the fact via email, and I'm happy to also meet with you to chat about Austria. So with that.
And my name is Anna Convoy, and I am a French professor here at St. Ben St. John's. I've been here since 2015, but I will be leading the program with you, hopefully, to Austria next year. And I will be teaching the seminar, the COLG 385 seminar that you all have to take. That is a CSEXGL, potentially BN if I manage to get an application in for that. As I said, I've been here since 2015. I teach French. I'm also fluent in Portuguese. I grew up in Portugal, so I have quite a bit of European experience. I've led 2 programs to France back when it was in Cannes, and then more recently in the Montpellier program. So this is my first time in Austria, so I will be learning alongside you all. I'm very excited about it. As you see, my fun fact, The Sound of Music was actually my favorite movie for a long time. I could pretty much recite the whole thing and sing it backwards and forwards. So if you don't know what The Sound of Music is, hopefully we'll have a little showing of the movie at some point. And what else? I'm trying to learn German right now. It's, does anybody here speak German? Okay, we might have to help. It's not the easiest language in the world, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun in the German classroom. And then just a quick note, I know we'll talk about curriculum a little bit later, but the seminar that I'm organizing right now relates to contemporary Austrian culture, using kind of a mindful lens, so using the 5 senses, and we'll be doing a lot of experiential learning opportunities through the use of your sight, your hearing, your smell, and of course, our favorite, taste, right? And then through some readings and films, we'll be exploring more kind of the cultural, social difference aspect of the course. That's good. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name's Henry. I'm a senior. I'm in political science and business. I went to Austria last fall. I thought I'd include some fun pictures from when I went. You guys might meet Andreas if he's still leading the hikes. He is amazing. He's so funny. I talk to him all the time. And then this was from a hill. Are they still staying in St. Sebastian? So
They are this year, so.
okay,
likely.
so if you guys are at St. Sebastian, there's a hill right by where it is. And it kind of goes up and it overlooks by where you can see the castle kind of in the distance. And then I got this right when it snowed, which wasn't really that common. And so I really like that picture. The top right one was at Geisberg, which you guys, I'm assuming, will take a trip there.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah. And then these 2 were at Eagle's Nest, where there's like only an hour and a half south of Salzburg. And then the really fun thing is like behind here, you can see Salzburg from like the mountain, which is really cool. And if you plan it right, you go up there on a clear day, it's the most beautiful thing ever. Like, it's really nice to go up there. I accidentally tricked all my friends to do like a 4-hour hike. I kept saying it was only an hour and then it kept going. And then this bottom right one was, we went to Innsbruck on a like day excursion, but then I chose to stay an extra night because I wanted to see Innsbruck way more. And then I recommended, if you can, Innsbruck's a beautiful city. And I kind of just want to say, baseline introduction, Austria is amazing. I'll tell you more about it in my personal story, but I kind of wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse of what Austria would look like. So I think that's about it for the introduction.
Cool.
Henry, did you mention your like major, minors,
Yeah.
kind of just to give
So
context?
I'm a political science and global business double major, and then I have a history minor. And then, so when I was there, I was able to take 3 of my classes that all counted for my major. And then I know some people are in political science. They will count it as a 4 credit if you just ask the chair. And history will also count it as a 4 credit if you ask the chair. They're pretty lenient and they understand if you're going abroad, they'll count it 3 to 4, so
Oh, that
if you're
sounds
worried
good.
about that, advice.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, we'll just dive right in.
Sure, so, as I said, I've never been to Austria, so this is going to be an experience as much for me as it is for you. But the program is located in Salzburg. You can see where the star is. The star marks the spot. It is very close to the German border, only about an hour and a half away from Munich on a high-speed train. I believe a lot of people, and this may have been your experience, they actually fly into Munich and then take the train rather than flying directly into Salzburg.
It's a lot cheaper to go
yeah.
through Munich.
Yeah, so there is an international airport in Salzburg, but it is, as Henry was saying, cheaper to fly into Munich, but easy enough, an hour and a half. I mean, you can go to the cities from here in an hour and a half, right? It is a fall program. So normally starting early September, going through December, so it kind of parallels maybe a week later than the program or the semester here at St. Ben St. John's. It is a fairly decently sized city. It's not, not huge, but it's also not 7,000 like St. Joe. It's about 150,000 per population. And then our partner is AIFS, and they have their own program center where your classes will take place. And Sarah will tell you more about that in a little bit.
Great. So to give you kind of a little bit more of an intro to Salzburg. So Salzburg is a beautiful small town. It's right, the river runs right through it. A lot of our students really enjoy that smaller town feel of it. It feels very comfortable. It's very easy to walk. You don't have to worry about navigating. And there's also a really great public transit system in case you do want to go out to the mall or to get to something a little bit further out. So I just threw a few photos. I actually had the pleasure to visit our Austria site in October this year. So these are a couple of photos from my trip. This photo is from one of the churches in Salzburg. So Salzburg has tons of churches. You will hear the church bells ringing. I think a lot of our students are used to that aspect of it. So it does feel very familiar in that way as well. So absolutely beautiful. And then another photo is this fountain. So this is actually one of the fountains that's featured in The Sound of Music. So if you have not seen that, I strongly encourage you to do so, both before you go to Salzburg, but then also while you're there or after, because it is fun to kind of watch the movie and kind of see the sights that you've seen. So this is right in the heart of Salzburg. You just walk right by it. And so it's just fun to have those kind of beautiful scenic places just on your daily commute as well. And then this is just one of the many delicious meals I ate while I was there. So this is like almost like a cheese dumpling kind of thing. So it was absolutely delicious. And then this Almdudler, which is like a non-alcoholic, almost like a honey beverage, apparently. Quite not common, but like a very traditional drink in Austria. So that's just to kind of give you a little bit of a taste of Salzburg. But there's also lots of other really exciting sights and things for you to see. So Salzburg is known for its music, so not only The Sound of Music, but also it is the birthplace of Mozart as well. So here you can see his birth house, so Salzburg is also a little touristy. Would you say, Henry, you noticed that?
Yeah, it's either you're gonna hear people talking in German or English, or probably I saw a lot of Japanese tour groups, which was kind of odd, which I didn't expect to see all the time. So I kind of felt like I saw more foreigners in Salzburg than I almost saw Austrians, especially in where we were in Allstadt.
Yeah, absolutely. So lots of beautiful castles here. Again, this is the fountain, and you can see up on the hill is the castle, and these are the gardens right in the heart of the city. Other highlights of being in Salzburg, Christmas
Yes.
markets. So I unfortunately missed that in October, but it's now the season. So there's lots of other traditional events as well that happen throughout the fall semester that our students love to enjoy in Salzburg. And then there's also opportunities to attend sports games, soccer. Our group this year went to some hockey games, so they really just enjoyed getting to kind of get out and kind of enjoy the range of opportunities and experiences in Salzburg and beyond. So that's just to give you a little bit of a taste of Salzburg and what that might look like for you.
I was really proud of myself when I saw Mozart's Geburtshaus, and I'm like, that means his birth house. It's like, I'm learning something, that's good.
Awesome. So to give you an overview, because this is an academic study abroad program, like Anna said, this program is housed in the AIFS Study Center. So their study center is located a little southwest of the Old Town area of Salzburg. So most of our students typically take the bus line down. It's, I would say, about a 20-minute commute, depending on how you hit the buses. But it's really easy, straight shot from around where the students live. And so it's located in this really nice commercial building. And there's also lots of little shops, little restaurants all around. So our students can run out and quick grab a lunch or can run down, pick up their groceries, and then take them home at the end of the day to cook. So the AIFS Study Center has 3 classrooms, and they have absolutely gorgeous views out of the windows, so I'll just show you. So you are surrounded by the mountains, so you can see that in the classrooms themselves, and as you're out walking around in the city as well. So it's an absolutely beautiful study center. There's great classroom spaces and a lounge space for students as well. So you can kind of bring a lunch or bring your lunch back or bring your breakfast and eat out in the study area. And then, let me show you one. So this is to give you that idea of the kind of lounge area where our students can spend some time. And they also have tons of resources. So any events that are coming up, any resources that AIFS needs to share with you, that's also available on the board, as well as they'll send it out in like a weekly newsletter for you too. So this is another one of the smaller classrooms. So they have 3 classrooms total at the AIFS Study Center, as well as a library that you can borrow a book or drop one off if you buy one while you're there, and then some spaces to study as well. Henry, what did you think of the study center, or how often were you hanging out in those spaces?
Personally, I was only there for class. But it was more of like, depending on the timing of classes, it was sometimes easier to stay there for like a half hour. But there's a Euro Spar right underneath the study center, which makes it really easy if you're like kind of hungry or you want to go do something. You can kind of walk around and then go back to the study center, or if you have like an hour, it's a 15-minute bus ride there and back, or like there and then you walk around for a little bit. But I really like the study center because like there was a decent amount of kids that would hang out before classes, so then you can kind of talk to some people before your classes would start, especially from like the other schools that come.
Yeah, awesome.
What are some other schools that come?
DU sends a lot, because I think our year they had 30 about, so like they had almost over half, and then I think I was talking to my friends that go there, they said this year they also had like their interest peaked way more for this fall. So they had a lot more applicants. So I think they send about like 30 every year.
So there's about typically around 60 students total at the program center. And so our group is just a part of the cohort that goes. So there are a lot of University of Denver students. I think this year, shoot, I'm trying to remember who else. Maybe Northwestern had a handful. So the rest of the students are kind of a mix from a few other universities as well. So you kind of get a chance to not only be in a foreign country, but then also meet folks from across the US as well, which is really nice. So, so students on this program take all of their courses at the study center. So you'll get very familiar with this location, and it makes it really easy. You don't have to run across the city to go to different campuses or different classes. So speaking of courses, because it is a study center based program, there is a slightly more limited selection of courses, but they offer a wide range of designations, and there's quite a number of courses that meet major, minor credits like Henry was talking about. So on this program, you would take the required study abroad seminar with Professor Convoy. And then after that, you would select 4 electives from this list. So German language is not a requirement. You don't have to come into the program with any previous German language experience, and you do not have to take a German language course while you're there. That being said, taking a German language course can be really helpful for figuring out how to navigate, for figuring out, signs while you're abroad or ordering. It is nice to have some of those basic language skills. So there's courses offered at a wide range of German language levels. So if you do have previous German experience, they do have courses at slightly higher levels for you as well. And then, like I said, you would choose from the rest of these courses for your remaining electives. So there's some art courses, some history courses, German, a lot of poli-sci, some GBIS courses, and I don't have them listed here, but you can see on our coursework database which designations each of these courses would count for. So as you are going, preparing your 4-year academic plan, figuring out how study abroad is going to fit into your time here at CSB and SJU, you can see, what courses, what things you need to complete while you are abroad, and that can help you to select which courses you're taking, in addition to maybe any major or minor credits that you're hoping to complete while you're there.
And I think that it's key to note the TI, that's a new addition, right?
Yes, so as of this fall, there is a new upper Theo course, and this will count towards the TI designation. So that's a really great opportunity. A lot of our students this semester are taking that, so it's not as easy to get that one while you are abroad. So that is a really great opportunity, and our students seem to be enjoying that course so far. So.
Yeah, you're familiar with Diana Fenton in the education department. She was, I was talking to her the other day, and she just said, I know a handful of people who are in Austria right now, and they are loving it. So just kind of, to reiterate what Henry just said. Out of curiosity, what majors do we have in the room? Just shout them out one by one. Okay.
Accounting. English and econ.
Bio.
Political science.
Sorry.
GBIS. Finance. Accounting.
Bio. Okay, so it looks like, for GBIS and poli-sci, you're all set. But then with other majors like bio, you could probably do some of your HE or your SW.
Or music counts too.
As well for AE.
Mhm.
Yeah, perfect. So
There's
So
of
that-
course
those would be
accounts
good.
for some of the accounting.
Okay.
There's one of the
Awesome.
GBIS courses counts for that too.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
strongly encourage you to check out the list on the program brochure on the global portal, just to kind of see it has what courses, either the designations or the major minor that it counts for. So definitely check that out as you are looking. Something to just bear in mind is sometimes these courses meet at the same time just because of the way the schedule works. So as you're preparing, just kind of be flexible with your list. Come prepared with maybe a couple of alternatives as you're looking at this that will then continue to support you preparing for graduation. So just something to be aware of as you're going through.
And honestly, like once you get there the first day, most of the other kids from the other schools, they will try to pick their classes like the first day. And so it's pretty easy if like you find out you don't want to do the art class and you're ready to do music, it's like that to switch it. And you just have to mark it on your thing. I thought it was more like.
I will say they have changed the system a little bit, so it might be a little bit different for folks going in for fall 25 and beyond, but they do try to take into consideration like any major or like designation credits that you're trying to get and give you priority for those. But just want to encourage you to be flexible as you're preparing too, because sometimes these courses can be adjusted, or like I said, sometimes they just happen to meet at the same time because of the schedule. So something to be thinking about. Henry, did you have a favorite course while you were there?
But I really liked the World War II in Central Europe. That's kind of just because I'm a history buff, and it was really easy for me, but the professor was really knowledgeable. And then he was from Braunschweig, where it's like on the border of Germany and Austria, and has like a lot of history from World War II. And so like he talked a lot about that. And then when he brought us to like concentration camps or site visits, he talked a lot, and he was like telling us a bunch of the history behind it, which I really liked. And his classes are really information packed for like how much he teaches. And then personally, I love the music. I didn't do that well in it. I took it as a pass, but she was a really nice teacher. I loved her because she would take us to concerts. I think one time she offered just to take us on a walking tour, and she was like, anybody that shows up, I'll like bring you guys out for dinner. And like 5 kids showed up, so like 5 of us just went out with her out of like the 20-person class. But it was really fun to have the music one because she brought in a lot of Mozart. And then she also like, if you asked her questions, she would ask you about like what music you liked. And then she would kind of like try to incorporate it, or like might listen to it a little bit. So.
Awesome. Yeah, so like Henry said, a lot of these courses do get you out either going on excursions, either longer ones like the concentration camp one that's a little further away. Some of the courses like this art history course that you see pictured here, they do some like little site visits around the city. So sometimes your class might be not at the study center because you're out in Salzburg, visiting a location, going to visit the art or see the week I was there, they went to the cemetery just behind St. Sebastian where the students live, and got to learn all about the art. They had special access to like the crypt there, so that was very cool.
Also, I would add so I took international management strategies and international political economy, and I think protection of human rights is the same way unless it's a 2-day course. But international political economy and international management strategies meet once a week. So some courses only meet once a week, and then they just have like tiny bit longer meet time, and then it's more paper based rather than if you'd want to do more excursions. Because I know the Austrian cultural one, that one does like more excursions. And like personally, if I would have known they did that more, I would have taken it because the teacher was really fun. But it's more of like a preference to what you want, because I didn't mind either.
So like Henry said, you might notice that the structure of the courses is a little different. Some of the courses meet 2 times a week, some of them will only meet 1 time a week, and it's a little bit longer. So something to be kind of aware of as you're preparing for the courses. They also currently only have classes Monday through Thursday, so that leaves Fridays open for either excursions for the classes, or if there's nothing scheduled, you have a slightly longer weekend. So sometimes the days can be a little long, some of the classes are a little long, but you have that benefit of that extra day for the weekend. So it's a little different than some of the other ones, so it balances out. But I strongly encourage you, if you are really interested in this program, to chat with alums. We will sit down and talk about the courses and kind of talk about your course plan as you're preparing to go on the semester. But I encourage you to talk to them and hear about their experiences in order to understand what courses you might be best suited for. What really does that course look like when you're there on the program. So in addition to maybe any class excursions that you also have excursions included as part of the program. So the 3 included excursions are an overnight trip to Vienna. And so that's a weekend-long excursion. And then an overnight weekend trip to Tappenkarsig. And that happens right at the beginning of the semester. So that's kind of like a hiking, just kind of a good, fun group bonding excursion for CSB and SGU students. And then the final one is a day trip to Innsbruck. Like Henry said, he decided to do an extra night, but the day trip portion of that is included. In addition to those program excursions, there's also 2 optional excursions that you can select into. So there's an overnight weekend excursion to Prague and a day trip excursion to Munich. So those are at an extra cost, so that would be for you to select into and then to pay out of your pocket for those. I will say I know a number of our students have said that the cost is a little high for what they feel they're getting. So what you're getting out of this is AIFS will organize the entire program for you. They will book housing or, your hotel or hostel. They will book your transportation. So they take a lot of the effort and work out of that excursion for you. So that's something to consider if you like that. But a lot of our students do tend to find that they want to book things themselves. They want to find maybe a cheaper deal or just kind of go at their own pace. So both are great. So this is an option for you as you are looking at the program too. Henry, did you have a favorite excursion?
All of them, but I can say like a little bit about all of them.
Yeah.
Vienna, self-explanatory. It's a beautiful city, and it's like to Salzburg, it feels way different because it's a lot more diverse and there's like just a lot more to see, which I kind of felt like I should have went back there another weekend, other than when we went there with the group. Tap and Car Sea was really fun because it was the first time we all got to like be together with like CSBSJU after like the first or second weekend, and so it kind of made us like more cohesive and like more friends. And it was like, honestly, it's a really beautiful trip. And then Innsbruck, I loved because I got to go on a mountain where my parents proposed to each other. That was like my whole goal of my study abroad, so I was kind of glad I went. But with Prague, I think I was the only one in my group that they said it was like $500 to do it. And I asked the person, I was like, could I just book it on my own? And it was like $300 cheaper. And then we had like 5 other people go with me, and like we rented our own hostel, and like we went out with everybody and like did like day excursions with them while they were in Prague, but then we just had to stay with their hostel, which I kind of found that fun because it was like really fun to like do our own booking. And like I think I went to Bratislava beforehand, and that was really fun because I kind of got to go to Slovakia just for like the heck of it. And then I didn't do Munich on a day trip, but I went there for a weekend to visit one of our exchange students that I had for our family. And Munich, even if you're there for a day, a weekend, there's a lot you can see. And I think I'll show you like I did have a picture of them, but like they have a standing wave there where like people will surf 24/7, 365 days a year. And it's like right by a bridge. And so like people will still wear like bodysuits in the middle of winter, because I was there like middle of November, and there's still people like ripping waves, and like everybody's watching them, and like sometimes there's like 16-year-old kids hopping in. I'm like, that's crazy, but it was really cool to watch.
Great. It's just a quick to give you an idea of
And that's Salzburg. Or is that?
that. I don't. This is not my video, so I'm gonna do you want to hear a video? It looks like. Doesn't look like Salzburg. It could be a different.
Rivers. But I
I'm
think
not
it might,
sure.
there's a lot of really small towns outside of Salzburg, like our group, or at least the people I went out with a lot, we went to like Bad Ischl, which has some like hot springs that they're known for, and then St. Gilgen. So like there's a lot of small towns, and I think this could be Bad Ischl, which is on a river, but there's like a lot of them that you can just go out and like they're kind of hidden gems in my opinion, because like they're even more quaint than Salzburg. And to be honest, like it's really fun to just kind of walk around when it's, especially during like the December months, because then everybody's just really happy, and they have all the Christmas markets out, and they have like hot chocolate everywhere.
So here's just a few more pictures of excursions from this year's group. So this is actually from their Tap and Car Sea excursion, their first
Oh my
or their second weekend. It actually was a little poor weather, so their hike actually got a little snowed out. They only ended up doing a portion of it. But they pivoted and did a lot of really cool activities. They visited a salt mine, which the students loved. So even if maybe plan A doesn't work out, plan B is still gonna be awesome. So that is one of the excursions. This is one that's included in the program. This is part of the, not an excursion, but part of the week-long orientation that you have at the beginning of the semester with AIFS. And then that's kind of from that same activity. And then these are two that I took when I was in Vienna. So, like Henry said, it's a little bit of a different feel than Salzburg, much larger, but also a beautiful place as well to visit.
Also, the top right one and the bottom left one, pretty sure, but definitely the bottom left. It's when you get to go to like this little castle and they do like a big tour, but then they also have a bird show there, or like they have people like sending out birds and they have like, it's just super cool. You guys are gonna love it. I was so mesmerized.
So back to Salzburg, thinking some more of those logistical sides of the program. So for housing, our students on this program will live in a residence hall. The AIFS program currently has 3 different residence halls. So sometimes from year to year it can vary. But these are photos of the current location where our CSBSJU students are this year and where they were last year as well, St. Sebastian. But no matter which residence hall you are in, you will live in a double room shared with a CSB and SJU student. And this is one of the current, this was taken in October when I visited. And so you'll have a double room that you'll share with another student, and then you also will have your own bathroom that you will share with that person. And then on your floor, you will have a shared kitchen. So that's what you see here. And you'll also have your own dedicated cupboard space with a lock and a dedicated refrigerator space with a lock. So students on this program, you are responsible for all your own meals. So a lot of our students will cook together in the evenings. Maybe they'll buy a sandwich out at lunch or cook something and bring it with them. So none of your meals are included with the program unless it's part of an activity or an excursion that's included. So students are responsible for buying and preparing all of your own meals. I will say to varying degrees of success. I think we've seen a lot of students who have grown their culinary skills since they've been there. I heard there was lots of pasta to be eaten. So I know one of our groups, one of the floors this year, they would do like a rotating, so every night it was a different person to cook dinner. So you can kind of share, and that makes it a little bit easier as well. So, and then Wi-Fi is included in the entire building that you are there, and then washer and dryer is available as well.
Also, recommendation, don't leave your dishes in the sink. The cleaning ladies get very mad, even if you're the one cleaning them all the time. I did that for like my floor, because like I would wake up at like 12 a.m. and everybody would have their dishes out. And the cleaning ladies eventually got really upset with us and they started putting all the dishes in like a garbage bag.
Oh.
And then we didn't notice they did that for like 3 weeks. And then I found them like the last week I was there and I looked in the garbage bag. I was like, oh.
That's
And
pretty
then
bad.
So I encourage you to clean up after yourself, remind yourself of those, shared Benedictine values in our shared community spaces. One of the things I didn't mention, so at the AIFS Study Center, they do have things like pots and pans that you can check out. It's like a €10 deposit fee that they just give you back at the end of the semester when you return your items. So they have a range of things like I said, pots and pans. And did you check out any items from them, Henry?
Yeah, I checked out like they had plates, pans, pots, forks, knives. And then in addition though, it's kind of nice if you plan it with like other people, if you find out you're living on the same floor, just share like pots and pans, because then you can kind of like strategize and just be like, we only need 2 or 3 pans. Because I don't think most of us put our pans and stuff in our cupboards. We just kind of kept them in like the ones right above the sink.
Mm.
And then we kind of just assumed if you used it, you cleaned it, but that's just what mine included. I cleaned it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
think I've got a few more photos. So this is to give you an idea. This is the outside of the current building. This is like one of the public spaces around near the kitchen. This is an example of the bathroom that the students share, and then the washer dryer that's located downstairs. All right. So something important to be thinking about as you're considering study abroad is the financing and the costs associated with the study abroad program. So for our semester study abroad programs, you will pay your tuition to CSBSJU just like you do on campus. And then you will pay the study abroad program fee. These are the current 2024 fees. We do not have the updated ones yet for 2025. But as soon as those are out, the link will be on the program page on the global portal. So you can view those. But you would pay the tuition and then the program fees. So you would not have to worry about paying room and board like you typically do when you are here on campus. Those items, the housing is included in your program fee. And then, like I said, food would be at your own cost. So then listed here, you will also see our estimated costs of out-of-pocket expenses. So these can vary by student. There's a couple that are pretty set. So for example, like the visa fee is going to be the same for every student. For this program, you do have to travel to a center to process your visa for the semester. Typically, if students are here, or if you are from Minnesota originally, that would be Chicago is the closest one. So you do have to include cost of travel to Chicago in that visa and related fees. So that can be as low cost budget if you want to take a 10-hour overnight bus to Chicago, or you can fly to Chicago in first class if you so choose. So this is just to give you kind of what students have said they've spent on the visa fees and the related expenses. A lot of our students have found that they can carpool together, and that helps to save down on the cost. Like I said, housing is included in this program. This is an estimated food cost. Again, if you're going out to eat every night, that might raise. If you're sharing with friends and doing a lot of cooking it might be a little bit lower. Estimated airfare expenses, like Anna said, depending on if you're flying into Munich or flying into Salzburg and how late you decide to wait to book your flight. So there's a lot of factors that can adjust that cost for you. And then estimated costs for books and supplies is included there. And then for this program and for all of our study abroad programs, students are required to have a working cell phone. So that includes anything that can receive calls and texts and does not have to rely on Wi-Fi. So we do have that as an expense to consider. And then just kind of miscellaneous personal. So that would be anything that is that weekend travel that you're doing, any additional things that you want to buy. If you're going shopping every Saturday, that can be adjusted depending on your lifestyle and your choices. So right now, this is what we're looking at the total cost for the program. And one thing we want you to consider is looking at what the cost of the program is more than your on-campus expenses. So this is currently what is listed for the 2024 program. And like I said, that will be updated as soon as we have those program fees.
And correct me if I'm wrong, financial aid carries over, correct?
Yes, yep, so on any of our study abroad programs, financial aid will cover, it'll cover over any of the things paid to CSBSJU on that top. So that's something to be aware of. If you have like CSBSJU scholarships, things like that will count towards this as well. Great question. In addition to that, we also have some study abroad specific scholarships to make you aware of. So the CGE, the study abroad global scholarships, those will be the deadline of February 25th. Those will open up at the semester application deadline day, so February 4th, those will open. And if you submit a complete application, you will receive a reminder about that. So strongly encourage you to apply for that scholarship. There's also the Gilman Scholarship, which has a deadline of March 6th for the next upcoming cycle. So strongly encourage you to check out that one as well. And then there's lots of others too on the CGE scholarship page. So if you have any concerns about financing study abroad, scholarships, things like that, strongly encourage you to connect with a member of the CGE team. In particular, Jessica Dickow is kind of our like scholarship guru, so I encourage you to connect with her. She is awesome at getting students connected with opportunities and supporting them through this process. So, any questions about the funding, the scholarships, things like that?
This is the hardest slide. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so looking at things that we are considering as you are applying and kind of the criteria that Anna is looking at as she is selecting the applicants. Do you want to do?
Sure, I can. So, one of the things you'll have to do is submit an application. So we're looking for obviously a complete application and your resume. And the quality obviously counts towards the decision making. There are several sessions, I guess, just for kind of working with somebody from the CGE staff, or is it students that?
Yep, so
So
our
like tutors?
study abroad mentors, so we've got application support and info sessions. So that is led by our study abroad mentors, so who are folks who have studied abroad and come back, and are part of our student worker staff in the Center for Global Education, and also career mentors from the Experience and Professional Development Office. So
And that's for application,
Yep.
interview, resume building, okay,
all
so.
of that.
So obviously resume building is just a skill that one should have, and you know, whether or not you're studying abroad, use those resources in order to improve your CV and resume for the future. But we will be looking at these criteria for your application. The application includes 2 references. One has to be a faculty reference. So if you're thinking of applying, start thinking about who might be the best faculty reference, somebody who knows you well. And can speak to your qualities as somebody who would like to study abroad in Austria next year. And then 1 non-faculty reference. That could be somebody on campus, somebody you work for. That could be somebody from back home that you worked for during your high school years or over the summers. But it has to be non-faculty. And then obviously we're going to have an interview, and the dates of the interview, I believe, are February 5th through the 12th or something like that, the
Yeah,
17th.
16, yeah.
Something
Somewhere
like
around
that.
there,
So
right after the-
early to mid-February, so you submit your application by February 4th, you have an interview, and then after that, you will find out whether or not you are accepted to the program. And obviously, we want you to be as authentic and prepared and yourself, basically, in the application, be it in the application itself, the answers to the application, and the interview itself as well. So, and then the other thing, this is something you might want to address because I'm not totally sure how this works with the disciplinary and academic probation.
Yes, so just kind of in terms of logistics, so we do have a minimum GPA requirement of 2.5. If you are below that, but not on academic or disciplinary probation, you are considered on a case-by-case basis. So that's just something for you to be aware of. And then in terms of if students, we do request conduct and academic and disciplinary probation from the Deans of Students Office. So we do have a place on the application for you to disclose that history. If you have questions about what will be shared with us, you can reach out to their office and they will let you know exactly what they'll tell us. But if you have any previous significant disciplinary probation or are currently on probation, they will let us know. And that may impact your ability to participate on the program depending on what the situation is. And so there is a section on the application for you to, like I said, indicate that. And if you do have like a robust history or anything significant, I strongly encourage you to, there's a section to write about it and to just tell us, you know, what happened, what you learned from that experience, and why you now feel prepared to be able to study abroad even after that. So it doesn't stop you necessarily depending on what it is, but it's just a chance for us to learn more about you and, you know, make sure that you are prepared to study abroad. Because oftentimes if we're seeing challenges here on campus, going abroad can sometimes exacerbate some of those challenges as well. So again, and you know, your preparation, honesty, and enthusiasm matter, so make sure you're bringing that with you into your application. So kind of next steps are to create a financial plan for study abroad. So I encourage you, like I said, to take a look at the kind of those costs and discuss with your family or whoever supports you. And kind of figure out how you can make this fit and when you can make it fit into your 4-year plan. Once you've decided, you've made your plan, you're ready, you will create your traveler profile in the CSB and SJU Global Portal, and then you will start your application there. Like Anna said, I strongly encourage you to attend a study abroad application support session. So that will walk you through the entire application process, and it will also give you a lot of support on creating that resume for the application itself. And then there is that reminder for the practice interviews. So the XBD Career Mentors will do some preparatory interviews with students who sign up for them. So to do some practice interviews. And I strongly encourage you to do that as well. It can really get some of those jitters out. And they will often ask you similar, if not the same questions that you might get from Anna as she's doing your actual interview. So it's a really, really great opportunity for you to prepare and put your best foot forward in the actual interview itself. So then in terms,
really hard questions.
they're usually not, so.
Yeah, it's just getting to know you,
Mhm.
getting to know you.
Absolutely. So in terms of timeline, the application for our fall 2025 Austria program and all semester 2025, fall 25 and spring 2026 programs are now open. So you can apply anytime between now and Tuesday, February 4th at noon. I do want to highlight that the application is due at noon, not at midnight. We do sometimes have students who miss that. So make sure you're getting it in by the middle of the day and that you're getting it in by that date. And something to be aware of, so if you submit your application tomorrow, and if somebody submits their application on Tuesday, February 4th at 11:45 a.m., your applications will be considered the same because you got it in by the deadline. So please take your time as you're working on it. But I also encourage you to get it done a little bit on the sooner side so you don't feel rushed in February trying to get that submitted. So, and then after that application is submitted, in addition to having to submit the application, there is a $300 application fee that you do have to pay. So that goes towards your travel insurance while you are abroad. So it is going towards the cost of your program. But it is something that for you to be aware of, you do have to pay with that, with a credit card online. If that is a concern and you're not able to pay that $300 all at once, you can get set up on a payment plan. So you just have to meet with a CGE program manager to get set up on that. So like myself, and then it would break it down into monthly payments of typically $100 a month. So for anyone who has some concerns about getting that paid, we've got that set up for you as well. So your application, in order to be complete, needs to be submitted and then have that $300 application fee paid by noon on Tuesday, February 4th. And then after that is done, you will have your interview with Professor Anna Convoy from February 5th to the 16th roughly. And then the decision notification will come out on Tuesday, February 18th around 10 a.m. via email.
So you have Thanksgiving coming up. This is a great opportunity to talk to your families and think about this financial plan. Is this a good idea to sit down with family and figure out how much is this going to cost? Is this a good idea? How can we make this work? And then you can start your application once you've decided, once you have that set.
Absolutely.
I got more pictures.
Cool.
I apologize about the top right one. I was trying to find one of St. Rupert Stog. I didn't know that we had the people outside of our program.
That's
alcohol.
No.
So the top left one was a trip I did with my friend Lucas that I met like the third day I was there, really randomly. He was a local like Austrian guy that worked at a hospital, and it was really fun to meet him because I was friends with him the whole 3 months I was there. And he took me on a lot of hikes around Salzburg, and then there was like a park where they just had cows sitting out, and like most of them you could just walk straight up to and they just chilled out. And then this top right one was me and my friend Megan took like a bus, I think like west of Salzburg for like an hour. And we just rode to the end, and then we just walked around and we found like this random castle. So it's like Austria is really good for that, where like you can just take a random trip and find really cool stuff. And personally, that's what I loved about Austria. It was really close to everything. I like the small towns that are around it, but I know a lot of people went on bigger trips to like Amsterdam, Denmark. I went to Denmark. But like Italy, and it's really central with the train system, like especially with Germany, taking the train system up is like an hour and a half. And then everything's like, it's way better than here. It's a lot more convenient. You can also get the Euro Pass, and it's a lot easier to kind of like jump between countries and kind of plan it out. This is probably one of my favorite trips. This is in Bled in Slovenia. It was kind of a little weird way to get there because we took like a bus to Ljubljana, and then we took a bus from Ljubljana to Bled. But there's like a castle there, and then me and my friend took a hike. That was like 2 hours into the mountain. But it was beautiful, and like I personally love traveling as much as I could. But then also in Salzburg, they have St. Rupertstag, I think September 27th-ish, around that time. And it's a really big, only Salzburg thing that they do. Everybody in Salzburg gets really hyped up for it. They're all wearing their lederhosen. They're all walking around. They have, I think by the main churches, they have like kind of a festival set up. And then if you go up to the fortress, you can see like all of the festival set up, and it's like really cool. And then they have like tents that you go in, and then usually at night it's like super busy. And I know most of the people in our program, like the first month we all went, and it was kind of funny because my roommate's mom came to visit us, and then she came out with us and like hung out with us for St. Rupertstag. So it was like kind of funny.
Are those all rented or did you all buy them?
I bought it.
You did?
My mom said not to, but went in Austria, so.
I will say, and I know a lot of our students end up buying either lederhosen or dirndl. You can, especially for the dirndls, so the dresses, a lot of our students this year were able to find them secondhand. So there's a lot of like secondhand stores because a lot of the women change the dresses frequently. I think a lot of the men struggle to find, lederhosen because it's kind of like one and done. You buy it for your life and then aren't wearing.
The nice thing is with the lederhosen, if you go there, I mean, I might remember the place where we went, but Andreas, the hiking guide, told me where to go to get like, usually if you buy them kind of later into the season, like into September, they're already kind of at half price because nobody's really buying them. And I think I got my full set, like the hat, the shirt, and the actual lederhosen for like $200 total. And that's not like too bad for like pretty good. And I think that's what most people paid. And I really loved having authentic ones, because then when you go to Oktoberfest, if you want to and you wear them, or you wear like an authentic dirndl, it looks way better than like people that buy them off Amazon, because you can tell very easily. And people also kind of like, I showed my uncles it when I went back for a wedding when I was in Austria, and they were all like, that's real goat leather. That's so cool. And they have like a bunch of different ones, so depending on how much you'd want to buy, or if you don't want to buy it, it's fine. But I recommend, it's kind of fun to get involved with it. And I think I wore it like 3 times already when I've been back here. So, especially, yeah. But
Yes, there's plenty of opportunity while you're there. I know some of our students this semester, they went to like out to the orchestra, like a symphony, and the opera, and so oftentimes you'll see folks wearing like their dirndls to that too. So there's plenty of opportunities to wear them. And then of course, when you come back on campus, if you are an alum like Henry, or you come for like the returnee dinner, we strongly encourage students to dress up in any country gear as well. So
You and your roommate's mom got into it, huh?
yeah, I don't know
Did she
why.
buy it there too?
Yeah, she bought one when my roommate went to go buy his. They just like got them together,
Cool.
which I thought that was kind of funny though.
Yeah.
But another thing I would add, knowing that they went to a lot of hockey games, a lot of me and my friends, we went to the hockey games there. They're really fun because Salzburg hockey is a really good hockey team for like Austria. I mean, that's this
Oh, nice.
thing. And they have a Red Bull store there. We like just yelled Red Bull all the time because Salzburg is known for Red Bull. That's where I'm pretty sure it was founded, or the headquarters are. And so I would have included a picture, but another thing I recommend, not a lot of people went, there's a Red Bull hangar that they have a bunch of like Red Bull themed like sports things, so like planes that they use for like breaking speed records, cars, and then like other like important things. It's like really cool to kind of see. It's on like the northern part of Salzburg, and it's all free. So
Cool.
they have a lot of fun stuff to see, especially for Red Bull.
Very cool. Thank you, Henry. Alright, so that is the end of our presentation. I just want to open it up to see if you have any questions that you feel comfortable asking in front of the group. Otherwise, if there's no questions or anything, we can also be available to chat with you after. If you have more specific questions, either for Henry or for Professor Conboy or myself. Any initial questions or things that you want to know about the program?
Do the dorms have desk and closet space, or is it pretty
Yes.
much just those specs?
You'll get like your own closet, your roommate will get their own closet. And then in addition, there should be 2 desks in the room, but I know my room is a little bigger than like the room that was shown. So it just kind of depends on the room, but also like the dining room area or like the common room, that's where I did a lot of my homework. Cause it's kind of nice to do your homework and then like people come in and out are making food and you can talk to them, which I liked, but.
So in the photo that you saw, that room had just like a shared table that had 2 chairs at it. So there might be some slight variations depending on the room. I know each of the rooms is kind of a different layout and different sizes, so it can depend on that. But there's tons of the kitchen area has a great tables and chairs and then lots of common spaces.
Kind of going off of that, like how does is there like a roommate process to it, or do you just get paired randomly, or do you like have an application?
Yep, so there is, so once you are selected for the program, there will be a rooming form that you complete. And if you want to request a specific roommate, you will indicate that there. But both people have to indicate each other as their selected roommate. So that's just something, as you're preparing to be in conversation with any friends or folks that you meet as you're getting ready to go on the program. Otherwise, you will just be paired with another CSB or SJU student who's going on the program based on how you complete the form and kind of what they think will be a good fit for you. Other questions? Well, if there's no other questions, I will wrap this up, and then, like I said, we will be available if there's anything specific you want to chat with us about. But thank you all so much for coming today.